Ladies, gentlemen, NBs, this is the ESC Fantasy Podcast, and this is the 2025 Oscar nominations reaction video slash audio slash go fuck yourself slash yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I told you what we're doing. This is going to be we did just like 8 a.m. this morning or something like that. EST. They just dropped the Oscar nominations. We had the short list. We had all the lead up. We had all the precursors. We even had the Golden Globes that took place in the last month, and we have all this information. And we predicted what we thought would be in there. Boy, were we wrong about some things. And I mean, I'll just throw it to you, Charlie. Just let's talk about it. And I think the big notable thing out of this, it scares the hell out of me as a person that's been following this, is that Amelia Perez got 13 nominations, Charlie. Sorry, Amelia Perez got 13 nominations.
13 noms is fucking wild.
It is possibly going to just clean up at this Oscars, it seems like. I'm not saying that we'll do predictions, obviously, at some point. I think we're going to do that as a separate video, I believe. But even so, that is a scary number if you're the other movies, right? And there were some, I'm going to call them snubs. I think there were snubs this year. I genuinely, at least in my opinion, let me be clear.
No, there's some definite snubs and some definite surprises.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll get into all that.
Yeah.
But actually, we didn't talk about doing this, Charlie. I guess I'll give mine really quickly. My overall thoughts on what I saw, just like briefly skimming through stuff. There was a lot of stuff I was really like surprised to not see included. There's one movie not in Best Picture that I'm mind blown by. And I'm not saying that what's there instead of it is not deserving. I just am so mind blown that movie didn't make it, because it seems like the kind of movie that would be in Best Picture. And there's other categories where there are very notable snubs, but there's also some ones that you may not really think about that you're like, wow, I can't believe that person did make it. It felt like they had such a strong, campaign for them, or at least it felt like they did. So just before we get into all the nominations, Charlie, what were your overall thoughts on what you read through? I mean, I was seeing some really shocking stuff myself.
Yeah, I think they got a lot right. There's a lot that I think they, you're always kind of holding out hope, like, oh God, please don't let that be the thing you change. So I think there's a lot that they did nail. But there's a couple movies that were definitely punished for coming out way too early in the year. And that recency bias is a thing. It has been. Everything Everywhere All at Once really being the exception. And it kind of sucks that,
I mean, I'm not going to diminish what Everything Everywhere All at Once did, but wasn't that kind of a dry year overall in terms of like other stuff?
No, it bought a lot of momentum. I mean, the movie came out in April, and it caught momentum because of how great it was. And, it sucks that some other movies maybe weren't able to do the same because they came out so early. And let's be real. I don't know if they would have won it anyways, even if they came out, 3 weeks ago. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you have to consider. Like, we have a lot of personal biases towards stuff, especially stuff that like we reviewed on this channel. But like at the same time, like it's there's also going to be there's a critical opinion and there's an audience opinion for a reason, because they generally vary drastically from each other, because what a critic is looking for in a good film is very different from what an audience is a lot of times. You know what I mean?
Look at Amelia Perez Letterboxd scores. Do you see anyone ever talking about how much they go to bat, love that movie? It's weird, and yet that's the one that got acknowledged the most, right? So, yeah. That being Amelia Perez aside, I think there's a lot of great stuff here that we can dive into. Let's start from visual effects. So, Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. Now, I'm not surprised at a lot of these. Funny enough, when we recorded our video, this was my 5. I ended up switching it on the app. I took Wicked out and put in Gladiator 2, but that's okay. I mean, all of these make sense. We've heard so much about the 8 movies, right? Better Man, all they could talk about is the motion capture, and we know how much they love motion capture. Dune Part 2 absolutely deserves the nomination here. And then Alien Romulus kind of catching the world by storm, and then Wicked. So I was a little shocked Wicked got in, but I guess the more I think about it, there is a lot of great VFX in the movie, right? So, yeah, I mean, even just the animals themselves, if you just want to point to one thing. So
I think my biggest surprise here was, like, generally speaking, when I see a movie like Gladiator being considered for something like this, I think there's got to be a reason for that, because Gladiator 2 wasn't like a top 10 movie of last year or anything. Maybe for some people it was,
seems
right?
like a lot of people just weren't vibing with it.
Right. So it's not like it's like the best movie of the year, so it's getting into the Oscars. It's getting into the Oscars on its technical work alone. You know what I mean? So, I think that I was really surprised that it didn't have enough to. So it must be, and I do think that is a thing. I think when a movie is less popular, I do think it can sometimes get not included because of they'd rather have something like Wicked in this category because it's going to draw more people's attention. You know what I mean? Especially if they end up giving it to Wicked or something like that.
The VFX, I feel like, would have to be absolutely outstanding to break through that mold. No, I do think Gladiator 2 was liked enough that, you know, it probably was number 6 if we were breaking down the vote tally. But yeah, I think Romulus just had that push forward, and I think that's the one that probably surpassed it. So really cool to see Alien Romulus really start to get some love here. I guess moving up our list, we had Sound, A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. 3 of those being musicals. Dune Part 2 being just a complete epic where, you know, the sound is the movie, essentially. It carries every bit of emotion that you could probably ever want from sound. And then The Wild Robot, which is it's been known to have a good sound to it. So I feel like that's a little bit of an underdog here, was The Wild Robot getting in. I do think there were some other options here, whether it was Alien Romulus. So yeah, nothing too shocking here with this one. We went in really deep on our predictions on why A Complete Unknown, Amelia Perez, and Wicked were going to be nominated. So I don't know. Any shocker to you here? I feel like Dune, that this should be one of those technical categories it just walks away with.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like since Dune isn't, and I'll just say it now, nominated in some of the categories that I think it maybe should have been nominated, and it may just clean up these technical categories as sort of like oops, sorry, we didn't get you where you should have been in this because of the other movies, so we're going to give you these awards so that it's not like you walked away with nothing, you know, like, which I don't know if that's going to mean anything. I imagine to the crew that made all that stuff happen, it will feel important, but I don't know how, I don't even know if Denis cares about awards personally, right? It may not, right? But if he does,
even Josh Brolin today was like, well, I guess I'll quit acting because what the hell are we doing here?
Right? Yeah, seriously.
So when you've even got people like Brolin going to bat for you, I mean,
yeah.
I think that's the unanimous one: is how do you nominate Jacques Audiard over Denis Villeneuve? Just watching those movies, and even James Mangold over Denis Villeneuve, if just watching the movies. Yeah. I don't know. That's we'll get into that a little more.
We'll talk about it when we get to it. Yeah. But it is something worth noting that I do think it is a way of compensating Denis Villeneuve for not being in the other categories, which feels like an even bigger snub than actually just having him not win, even if he's in, right? Like, because
Wild Robot getting a lot of respect here.
That's good. We like to see that. I imagine, have we ever had a year, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but this is just like a bold thought that just popped in my mind. We ever had a year where an animated movie cleaned everything up that it was in and then
it'd
won
be cool.
Something crazy?
Yeah, I think it got 3 noms, so
it's not really Best Picture, but it could win like that, animated. It could win, like, say it could win sound, animated, and maybe, is it going to, it's not going to be considered for international, is it? But,
no, it was something else. I think it was song.
It might be song. Yeah, maybe it wins song, sound, and it's probably up for, is it up for score?
My bad, it's music, not song.
Okay, for score.
Original score, yeah.
So it could win score, sound, and it could win a couple categories, technical, and then maybe animated, you know what I mean? And so if it did all that, that would be a great night for fucking Wild Robot, you know what I mean? It really would. So I'm not saying it
animated movie that people have been clamoring for months now.
It would suck if that was the thing that made Denis win nothing, because it could.
It could, very well could.
Thing that could happen. So I don't think it will. I do think Denis probably cleans up here, but yeah, it's interesting that it's maybe one of the last times we talk about him in this video. You know what I mean? Like,
is there any? I don't know if you have your predictions pulled up right now. Is there any that you had that weren't on here? I had Romulus. I just don't remember if you had that one as well in sound.
Let me see what I had for sound.
You had Gladiator.
Yeah, I had Gladiator. Yeah, no, yeah. I had
That was a shock
Gladiator.
because even our boys predicted Gladiator here.
Yeah, no, I was convinced. The same reasoning. You know, I was just in my head. I was like, Alien Romulus probably has better sound, but at the same time, like Gladiator 2 is exactly. I figured that movie lived and died by
It's going to be known for its sound, known for being in Dolby, known for getting that. Yeah.
I expected because that's kind of the thing I associate with those big tentpole like period piece movies is what I associate them with. You know what I mean? Is those kinds of technical, you know, achievements. But I guess Gladiator 2 in the minds of the Academy just didn't reach that level in this instance, which, you know, you can't argue with. It's
the next one I went 3 out of 5 on, but we got the winner, so that's all that matters. Makeup and hairstyling, A Different Man, Amelia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. This is the Substance's award. The fact that it got nominated for Best Picture, the movie is literally all makeup and hairstyling. It is a mastercraft of it, and I'm glad it's getting the recognition it deserves. I did not have Nosferatu, and I did not have Amelia Perez on here. Fuck it, they didn't put Dune in this one.
I put Dune here, and the only thing I missed was Dune.
I put Dune and Beetlejuice. So that got that went nil as well. So yeah, no, this category is a wash. It's Substance all day. But
okay, hear me out though. Will it be the biggest snub of the Oscars if Amelia Perez wins that category?
Amelia Perez wins this category, it's probably going to be really early on in the night too. I'd be like, lock in. They probably win the Best Picture. There's a couple things we're going to be able to point to and be like, oh, they might take this thing. Skip a couple of these that we didn't really even bother on our other one. Okay, score. I think we both went 4 out of 5 in this, with pain from the best one being missing here. The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Good for Wild Robot here. I had challengers in over Wicked. I did not have Wicked in this one. So, and you did not have Wild Robot, if I remember correctly?
I had every on my I'm going off gold, or not Gold Derby. I'm going off of the updated. I'm not going off the ones from the old video, because I don't care, because this is what I actually went with in the end. For those of you that don't know, we downloaded another app that was different than Gold Derby. So that's when we say we updated them. That's actually technically 2 separate sets of predictions, because we had way more information the second time. So yeah, but I didn't have what did I not have here? Yeah, I didn't have Wicked.
Yeah,
I had everything else. I just thought challengers would get more love. You know what I mean? I don't know why it didn't get any. You know,
challengers bar none. The score carried the movie this year. I'm a little heartbroken for the movie that it didn't get this one. I thought if it got anything, just even one shot in the dark, it was score, and it didn't. Really sad.
That just shows the competition there is this year in terms of score, though. You know what I mean? Like, how many years can you say that? Where there's like 5 movies that you're like, fuck, the scores in all of those probably could win them alone. You know what I mean? Like,
I really don't even know if there's a runaway in this one. Then, I mean, maybe Brutalist, maybe Conclave. Because Conclave, again, every little bit of sound, right? So, and then we had original song. We had El Mal, The Journey from 688, Like a Bird, Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Amelia Perez, and Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late. The Wild Robot did not get into this one. It got all the other stuff for sound and score and etc., but it didn't get the song, which I thought.
I think I've heard people say the song's not like that insane. It's like it's I think it fits in the movie, but I don't know if it's like a defining fucking moment of the movie. It could be wrong.
Warren's like 10 Oscars in a row now. She's been nominated, and then obviously the Never Too Late one from Elton John. That's pretty cool, but. Like a Bird from Sing Sing. Oh, that made me so happy to see that get there.
It's so crazy that song's in, but there's another thing that they didn't have. We'll get to it. You know, like, whatever, you know. Like, I missed on.
Yeah, I wasn't like way too invested into best song, as I feel like El Mal's probably just taking the thing home anyway. So, hey, could be a shock though. Could be The Journey, right? Diane Warren, get her a dub.
Could be fun.
Costume design. This was a pretty nuts one. Mm-hmm. A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. No Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
Whoa. And I thought maybe Maria could have had a chance here. I thought they might have been a little bit higher on Maria, but I guess I got the one that really matters for it.
Yeah, I missed on Complete Unknown here. That's all I missed on.
I missed on Complete Unknown as well. So, yeah.
One thing we can say definitively,
into that
Dune fucked us up because we loved that movie so much. Like, you know,
at the same time, it's like even the betting odds kind of favor Dune in some of this stuff. It doesn't. This is either Conclave or Wicked, right? I mean, Conclave.
And probably Wicked at that. You know what I mean? Like, or this is the one award Gladiator wins, I guess, because that's maybe. Like 90% of the movie is costume and set design and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like,
and then we had production design. We had The Brutalist, Conclave. Oh my God, Conclave for Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Yeah, no, 5 for 5 here. I think we both went 5 for 5 here.
I actually did not.
Oh, which one did you not have?
Amelia Perez.
Oh, over Brutalist, maybe?
No. It was over Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. Okay. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. We never know. Hey, it could have been 14, could have been 15, 16, 17.
Out of curiosity, I'm curious if that was a change that I made from the other one. I'll look really quickly just to find out because I'm really curious. Wait, what? Oh, it's the actual Oscar predictions. I need to wait. Can you even see your previous predictions on this app? If not, I'm gonna actually
full tweak.
Yeah,
I don't even know if you can.
I might not be able to. I might be fucked.
It might be GG's. They're in the video.
Yeah, they are literally.
Well, yeah. I mean, none of those are too shocking. We kind of, Wicked is all production. This is such a brilliant category this year. The Brutalist being all the big sets that they made. Conclave, they remade the Vatican. Dune Part 2, you literally feel like you're on Arrakis. Nosferatu, you're completely transferred to another time era. And then Wicked, you're in another world, really. So they're all beautiful. They all deserved it. This is arguably one of the hardest ones to predict this year. This is going to be really cool. That I can't wait to when we're doing our predictions and we're like really talking about these production designs. We're gonna have some. We like to get carried away on some shit like that sometimes. It's a good time. Cinematography. Okay. Probably my favorite technical award there is.
I had that on the other app too. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Sure.
Thing I care the most about here. So cinematography. The Brutalist. Dune Part 2. Amelia Perez. Maria and Nosferatu. I'm a little shocked they did Amelia over Nickel Boys here. Just being genuinely honest. When you hear about how Nickel Boys is this innovative first person point of view and it actually works, it didn't get nominated here. Shocking. Amelia Perez just really, I don't think the cinematography really stuck out at all. I would have gone just in the clips I've seen from Better Man. I probably would have taken Better Man here because they definitely shot their dances much better than Amelia.
That's
Perez.
Actually insane. The two movies that they didn't include here are actually a lot of very heavily cinematography featuring movies. So it must be that Maria. I mean, I did make comment about how Amelia Perez could somehow sneak into because there were incredible shots in that movie. You know what I mean? Like,
and everything we've heard from Ed Lockman and Maria, we kind of knew. This movie it's shot like a cinematic masterpiece, kind of the way they did it.
So I mean, like these aren't really snubs. I do think there's some cinematography from Conclave that do deserve to be recognized, but I mean, that's to each their own. I don't know if I like Amelia Perez being in over Nickel Boys, though. I'll be honest with you.
I wouldn't put it in over Better Man. I'm not even. I mean, it's no different than if they would have put in Wicked, because Wicked, the cinematography was arguably the weakest point of the film. And it's just like, really? Whatever. The other four, fantastic picks. So, and at least Nickel Boys didn't go home empty-handed, right? Okay, editing. All right, dude. This is probably one of the big what the fuck ones. But at the same time, Honora knocked it out of the park. Edited by Sean Baker, which makes you got to respect it even more. The Brutalist, of course. Conclave, Of fucking course.
Conclave's winning this category.
Some of the most insane editing I've seen.
It's winning this category, especially with what's not in there. It's absolutely winning.
I was going to say, but the only thing that had better editing this year, Dune Part 2 not listed. We had Emilia Perez and Wicked listed next. Yeah, this was a bit shocking.
Challengers not being in there is mind-boggling to me.
I don't understand how Dune didn't get this one. It's a little shocking. Because I was sitting here trying to think, Wicked, what are they really pointing to for Wicked's editing? And I was like, I mean, they did trim it down pretty well. Certain shot choices. Mainly, you go to the scene when they're all having that, like, kind of underground bunker party and how they chose shots there. That was probably one of the better ones. How they shot Emerald City, obviously, and how they edited, how they chose what to do for that. Yeah, it makes sense. Emilia Perez, I mean, okay. I don't want to sound like I'm dunking on it, but Jesus.
We'll already sound like that. We are. I want to be clear about something. I don't know if the people that actually care about this kind of thing are this deep into the video can actually listen and give a fuck. But, this is in here so that we can point to this if people, start accusing us of being like racist or something like that, right? But like, I want to be clear. I even watched the first 40 minutes of Emilia Perez. It just didn't work for me. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't into it. I didn't finish the movie. I respect what they did on a technical achievement level. I've talked very much about how I'm not completely shocked by it being in here. I'm just not the biggest fan of that because I believe personally that I think there are movies that are more deserving. That being said, if the movie goes on to win 13 fucking Oscars, I'm going to be like, damn, what an impressive achievement for cinema. Because it's not been done in a long time, you know what I mean? And it's also I think that would break the record.
And it'll be a movie that's not unanimously loved.
That's also true. And that does tend to be a controversial thing. So that would be a big thing for the Oscars. So as a person who's a fan of the Oscars, maybe not everything the Oscars stand for and the industry stands for, but certainly the Oscars show is.
I mean, dude, this thing got as many nominations as Oppenheimer did last year.
That's what I'm saying. If it goes and cleans up in an Oppenheimer style, then I can't be mad at that because it's still a cinematic achievement. And I want Zoe Saldana to succeed. You know what I mean? 100,000,000%. One of my favorite actresses out there. You know what I mean? So if she goes on in her movie that she's the star in, I'm sorry, I'll be honest. You know what I mean? She will end up being a much bigger star and maybe do something good with that. You know what I mean? So I can't be mad at that. So I want to be clear that we don't actually have any real actual issues with this movie. And we've said
before,
we just want
the movie is the act.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's a great movie. It's just not for us. You know what I mean?
No.
And that's okay. We don't have to be. It doesn't have to be for us to be able to talk about it here and have an opinion. Just because it didn't land for us doesn't mean it didn't land for somebody you really respect. You know what I mean?
But when we're talking about cinematography and editing, I mean, come on. These are things that we really, really look for. And it's just like, brother, I don't know. I can't believe Dune didn't get him for editing. It's shocking. That being said, I mean, Anora or Conclave, I think, or The Brutalist. I mean, look, those are going to be the big three in a lot of these awards, in these technicals now. So,
see, what I don't understand is how can somebody say because the rumor is Academy voters aren't finishing The Brutalist, right? Yes, how can you say a movie's edited well when you can't finish it? How?
Beyond me.
I'm not even saying The Brutalist isn't edited well. I'm sure it's edited better than anything I've ever edited in my life and ever I will edit in my life. And it's 3 hours long, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't know how you can't finish a movie and you voted in as a category that was inherently based around pacing and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta.
I can't wait to see that.
I don't know how they would enforce this, but they have to have a fucking watcher that watches the watchers or something that ensures that they actually fucking finish these films. Because for one, if I'm he probably doesn't give a fuck, but if I'm Brady Corbet and I'm hearing people aren't finishing my movie that are considering it for awards, I'm kind of pissed because I want to win those awards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if they're not finishing my movie, how are they going to award me them fairly? You know what I mean?
Sit your ass down and lock in, motherfucker.
I don't know. It's that, and then I'm not trying to call out the Academy here, but aren't these supposed to be the most passionate people about this shit?
Well, the fact that they did pit Brutalist as many as they did, it should show a sign that yes, they are.
They know. They just are I don't have fucking time for this shit. It's come on, man. This is all you do. What the fuck?
Yeah. Animated, they went 5 for 5 on predicted in odds, I guess you should say. Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, and The Wild Robot. All of these movies have such high critic scores. But Flow has been stealing some of the momentum here. But Wild Robot, 3 nominations on the night. International feature film. I'm Still Here, The Girl with the Needle, Amelia Perez. The Seed of the Sacred Fig, which I actually saw is going to be opening in theaters by
Damn
now.
it, I threw a kneecap in here
And
because
Flow.
it had so much momentum from the fucking...
I put a kneecap as well.
Because of the fucking momentum from the fucking DAFTAs, and I was like, oh, it might have something. Nope.
Which one did I not have? I had kneecap in here as well.
We didn't.
I didn't put in Flow.
I didn't put in The Girl with the Needle. Yeah, I knew Flo was getting in. Flo winning. Didn't Flo win animated at the fucking something? Or something?
The biggest joke here is India didn't nominate All We Imagine Is Light.
Flo beat Wild Robot at the Globes, right?
Yeah, was it in animated.
Yeah. So that in and of itself, I mean, yeah, international and so on, but I mean, Wild Robot had a lot of love anyway, so I think it beating it there, not just because international. I think that was just generally.
So really, only the BAFTAs gave a shit about kneecap,
which was the accusation that the BAFTAs intentionally inflated that movie because
the Ireland movie,
because it was from that region. But I mean, at the same time, there's going to be some of that here too. You know what I mean? We didn't do it with Dune, but arguably that would have been the movie we did it with this year. Or Gladiator. You know what I mean? Those are movies that maybe. But Dune got recognized at other shows, so maybe Dune's a bad example. But maybe something like Gladiator would be like an equivalent example. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna get a nomination or something or two, but it maybe doesn't deserve it necessarily. And
then we get into the real big awards from here on out, like the awards. Original screenplay.
I nailed this one.
The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. I am so happy The Substance got honored here. Because when we watched that movie fucking months ago at this point, dude, I remember us talking as soon as it ended, like, dude, that if this movie gets any love, please
God, the second movie I saw this year too. Isn't that insane?
Yeah, please God, let it be screenplay, and it fucking got acknowledged at the Oscars.
People are like, what? How is that possible? Don't worry about it. Trust me, I made it work.
But I mean, all of this makes sense. September 5 finally showing up. So, and then
I just felt that movie was going to be in this category. It's not winning, but it's going to be in this category because
it's the only place it showed up. So
yeah. It didn't even get into Best Picture. That's kind of an odd. It got the main precursor award for Best Picture a lot of times, at least getting in as a nomination, and it didn't get in. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't even know where else.
I know where's winning. I know where's winning. Sorry, it's just the truth. It
has to. It genuinely has to.
And that's one of the only things that could stop it from maybe going on to win Best Picture. Like, say they all vote The Substance.
If Brutalist wins this, it's over. Brutalist is winning Best Picture.
Oh yes, but imagine
if it snipes Honora here.
Imagine the hype, though, if The Substance wins this award, Charlie. Could you imagine if Substance looks like it's about to be teed up to potentially win Best Picture? That would be
look
incredible.
like Brother Bro. I'd start fucking kicking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, bud. Oh, yeah.
I think they nailed these 5. It all makes sense to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The only one I had out was I had Hard Truths, but Hard Truths got an offer. So
I think September 5 got the right nominations. I think that's really what it came down to here. You know what I mean? Like, not that that's the only thing that matters, but I think it's a good premise. It's the kind of movie the Oscars love. You know what I mean? And on top of that, it looks like it's got a great actor playing the lead role, right? And it's also got. It seems like it looks like a really strong script based on what I've seen in the trailers.
These are fucking loaded this year, and good for Eisenberg getting here with A Real Pain. Really good for him.
After his first fucking writing debut not being received as well, this is actually so strong for him. I would not be surprised to see him writing more movies going forward. You know what I mean? Like, so I think he did a really great job here. He probably wrote this guy a fucking award, Charlie, straight up. You know what I mean? Like,
we had adapted screenplay, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Both Nickel Boys and Sing Sing getting in. Oh, this made me so happy.
So Sing Sing makes it here.
Makes it for the screenplay.
Doesn't get... I know I'm jumping ahead here, but I already kind of did with September 5. Doesn't get nominated for Best Picture?
Wild.
Insane.
Either September 5 or Sing Sing did, and they got the screenplay nomination. Fucking insane.
So maybe they're trying to change that perception so that you can maybe win the screenplay award, but necessarily have to win that to win Best Picture or something like that. That could be a nice precedent to set. Man, Dune, man.
Said, I still think this is Conclave's to lose as of today, but
no Dune. It's an adaptation, man. It's the only adaptation here.
How the fuck did they not pick Dune?
Sorry, Conclave's a book, I guess, but whatever, you know.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure they're all something. Sing Sing was a documentary. Nickel Boys, I don't know what Nickel Boys was, but I don't even know. I'm speechless. This is one of the ones What the fuck? I mean, hey, I went 5 for 5 in the app, so I'll take that. But I would have liked it being acknowledged at least, right? It's not too much to ask for. All right, 5 left. Directing. Honora, Sean Baker, 10 out of 10. The Brutalist, Brady Corbet, 10 out of 10. A Complete Unknown, James Mangold, 90-1 betting odds. But I even wrote into John Campy. I said, this is happening. Amelia Perez, Jacques Audiard, and The Substance, Coralie Forja. She fucking deserves it.
Yes. I hope she wins it now.
Yeah. Well, that means she's
it's not happening. Sean Baker's
that
winning
means
everything.
She's winning Best Picture. But,
hell yeah, I'm down.
I'm in.
I'm feeling it, bro. I wasn't expecting to see a Substance ever on as many things. I was expecting it to get the ones that we thought it deserved, but I mean, I put it in a lot of things. But again, I was just thinking in my head, I was like, what's gonna beat it here? You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. There's we talk about this year. The whole thing that's so exciting about this year of Oscars is how up in the air it is. You know what I mean? So like, there could have been some surprising things here.
We got to talk about the big one.
Yeah, so
Conclave.
How is that not here? What is going on?
Edward Berger. Well, for starters,
yeah,
I wonder how high on the list The Complete Unknown was. So, because I wonder if that was the one that took it. Would be mind blown if so. I would be mind blown, but I don't know if that's the one. I mean, look, I think the momentum is just there with A Complete Unknown. I'm really sad because Conclave is not touching Best Picture now, unless we have a Ben Affleck situation where he doesn't even get nominated for director and his movie wins Best Picture. But that's the only time we could point to that, right? So, wow, dude. If I thought any of them were getting snubbed, and we had like a 20-minute conversation on this, we acknowledged probably Audiard was going to get nominated, but it was bad word of mouth lately for Perez. I ended up putting A Complete Unknown on my 5th slot over him, but I had Conclave at slot number 4. I thought that was for sure.
No, I thought Conclave was a lock in so many of these categories because it just feels like it's got like not just the momentum, but it also feels like it's got that positive association. Like people are talking about it.
There's been multiple award shows where it's got the most nominations.
Yeah, so it's kind of surprising. It's I'm curious what it was. I wish we could somehow like poll the Academy and be like, what was the reason why you didn't include this year? Because it'd be interesting to see. Like, it's mind-blowing.
Did he just straight up lose to the European?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's how that works.
Because I think no matter what, Honora, Brutalist, and Substance were top 3. So it makes me think: was it Complete Unknown number 4 and Amelia Perez number 5? Or was it a situation where they just straight up picked Mangold over him, which is shocking if they did. But I mean, it's all a fucking wash because a top 3 directed movie this year was Dune Part 2. And that movie, just like Conclave, these are genuine snubs. Like, I think one of the bigger snubs of the night was Challengers and Score. And I'm not even like a super Challengers fanboy like these people on Twitter.
Like me.
I'm not thinking it's, it's snubbed for Best Picture. There was no way in fuck it was going to make that. But I still really like the movie.
I had it as a top 5 movie of my top 5 last year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like I really like the movie.
It did. Yeah, it was number 5 or number 6 for me. Yeah, it was top 10.
But these are genuine snubs. And Edward Berger not getting here, I think to me was one of the biggest shocks of the night for sure. So yeah, I mean, I'm really happy for The Substance. Obviously, I'm still rooting for Honora, I think, and everything more than ever now that Dune got as skull crushed as it did. The starter car really got to him. So pain. But I don't know. Any other thoughts you have on directing? I mean, we luckily with enough, if people have been following our show, we were on the tea leaves with Mangold, even though it felt like a lot of people weren't embracing it. But
yeah, it's funny. Just about all the things that we thought might come to fruition that we discussed are just about happening, which is like, I think that's a good, I talk about how often the Oscars can be a little predictable. They're not necessarily predictable. The way they tend to do things, like you can kind of like sort of, you said, read the tea leaves a little bit. You can kind of, you can see
90-1 betting odds was insane for Mangold. If you could bet on
Yeah.
that in your state, I would have
Wow.
fucking
Yeah,
like that.
You might
That
be a
felt
rich
like
person
free
now.
money, dude.
You might be a rich person now. But I mean, I guess you have to have a little bit of money to be able to really get to be able to really get a good payout, I guess. But yeah, it's mind blowing. It's funny. Like, this is gonna be what Denis' career, I think, is defined by, is that he makes like Oscar worthy movies and just is in the worst timing ever. Like, I don't
Dune
know.
Messiah is not going to get nominated for Best Director.
No, it's probably not, because the year it's coming out, it is full of fucking killers. You know what I mean?
It's everything.
So, like,
and we know what Dune Messiah is going to be.
it's going to be different, and it's going to be
people aren't
bold.
going to flock
It's going
to
to
it like
piss
they did
people
Dune
off.
Part 2.
It's going to piss people off, because as much as I hate it, I do think that even though he tried to do what he did, I think it still didn't quite perfectly land for some people, because, of course, there's idiots out there.
I mean, look, maybe he makes the greatest fucking experimental study of a human being ever, and I'd be awesome if it did, but I mean, he has been nominated for Best Director before, right?
Yeah, I believe.
Like, Blade Runner, right?
Yeah, and I don't remember if he won that. No, he didn't. He's Oscar-less, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, like, I mean, actually, maybe verify that.
He didn't get nominated for Best Director there. I don't even know, man. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. It is pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's been nominated 4 times, it looks like, potentially. So, mind-blowing to me,
Yeah.
It is what it is, I mean,
hasn't been nominated for Best Director since Arrival.
That is... and that makes sense.
Wow.
That's the last one he was, nominated for. But to me, I feel like I haven't seen Arrival, but I would imagine for... so I'll give you an example. John Campea, I think, is the best movie to come out in the last, 20 years. He said that. You know what I mean?
I think it's bar none the best movie this year. And probably last year. Yeah, last year was The Holdovers. Yeah, for me at least. So it's, yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. So I don't know. Like, it's tough. It's something that, as an industry, I think that they need to look at, and they need to think about. Like, why is this not what's winning awards? What is it about this?
And the only thing we can point to is release date. That seems to be the only common thing.
And then they need to fucking put something in their fucking notes that says, hey, this came out then. Don't hold that against it.
Like, did he get fucked not getting nominated last year? Because this thing was pushed back 4 months. This would have been a November release. I fucking guarantee he would have been in that Best Director. I mean, let's
I have no idea, man. It's tough,
to make sure.
Because, do we know for sure that those couple of months that they pushed it back weren't crucial for the way it came out? You know what I mean? Who fucking knows? You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea, Because they could have made drastic changes in those last few months. You know what I mean? Because
last year you had Nolan for Oppenheimer. You had Anatomy of a Fall, Killers of the Flower Moon, Poor Things, in the Zone of Interest. Dune Part 2 gets in that list.
He still loses to Oppenheimer, though.
If it's received the way it was, because it's so hard to just I think
that's why they didn't release it. I think they knew the wave of Oppenheimer. That movie had to be making waves in the industry, in the background. Like, there's no way they didn't
to an extent, but it got pushed back. I think it's so unfortunate for him specifically. But you know what? I'm glad that it still got love at the Oscars. If we're trying to be optimistic about something, because this is the last. Yeah. Well, actually, they did get Best Picture, so yeah, we'll move on. But that to me was
it got Best Picture. That's why I mentioned he got 4 nominations. He did get nominated for Best Picture. It's not looking good though with the lack of nominations in other categories. No. It looks very bad.
It's in winning Best Picture without Best Director and even Screenplay. I mean,
if you want to have
you got to go
faith,
way back.
You have to hope that Dune wins every technical award that it can win, because otherwise you don't have any momentum going into later in the night. Not that matters. It's not like they changed on the night of, but they kind of it seems like to signal sometimes what's going to win stuff by having them win other stuff. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
there's not going to be a lot of fucking signaling for Dune in this one. There won't be a lot of opportunities for it anyway. So
supporting actress Monica Barbaro, A Complete Unknown. Ariana Grande, Wicked, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini in Conclave, and Zoe Saldana and Amelia Perez. So, I mean,
I think the first 4 in this felt very straightforward. Like, Felicity could have fallen off, I guess, but
I'd say the first 3. You had Grande, you had Rossellini, and you had Saldana.
Yeah.
Who were gonna? Did they like Felicity's performance in The Brutalist?
Felicity Jones. You have, even Monica Barbaro, A Complete Unknown. So you had options that could go in here. You know what I mean?
Jamie Lee Curtis. That's been popping up a lot lately.
She didn't get anything, which is kind of wild.
But again, Monica Barbaro, I don't know. We just felt the hype on A Complete Unknown was happening. I got the most points on the app because of this, because I don't think a lot of people put Barbara in here. So, again, she was awesome in Top Gun, and her main partner in that is going to be the Sentry in Thunderbolts this year. So that's going to be fucking awesome. No Margaret Qualley. I'm not too shocked though. I mean, everything we've seen from Felicity Jones in The Brutalist, I'm glad that it did get acknowledged because she's awesome. That's our Jen Erso. So, you know.
Yep.
Very happy with that. I'm curious if it feels like it's a guaranteed Saldana win this time in, you know, a month from now. Because as of today, I don't know if you're feeling the same. It just feels like I thought it was going to be 50-50. It doesn't feel like that anymore.
No.
So, actor in a supporting role.
The Kieran Culkin category.
Yara Borisov in Anora. Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain. Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown. Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice. Well, they did acknowledge The Apprentice.
Yep. Which I just felt that wave coming.
It's
that movie
really good for
just too good. I feel like, you know what I mean?
And that was the spot for Macklin.
Unfortunately,
The Apprentice took it.
Yep.
Really, really sad for Macklin. Really sad for him.
Believed in Stanley Tucci here, man. That performance in Conclave is actually super underrated. I feel like,
it's just. There's been no hype about it.
I know. I understand.
It was just dead. Yeah.
Fucking Tucci always getting the disrespect. I
mean, dude,
get it.
If we're being honest, even Bardem, no one was fucking talking about it.
Actually, yeah, if I'm being honest, the best supporting role of the year, 1,000,000% was Javier Bardem in fucking Dune Part 2. And that's not us just being Dune glazers. I actually do believe that part of the reason why that movie works the way that it does is because of his performance.
And if you would have asked me in April, I thought Rebecca Ferguson could have been nominated for actress in a supporting role. So... Yeah.
Clarence Macklin snub. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it is a snub at this point because he made the list for nominations. You know, he has been nominated.
It was just a clear cut who's winning that fifth spot, Macklin or Strong or, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So,
you know,
good for Strong in The Apprentice. We've seen a lot of people mention how everyone loved.
I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Because none of them are winning this category. Unless they just completely decide to just do something drastically.
I'll tell
silly.
You what I mean. I think maybe Guy Pearce. If there's like a unreal fucking,
if they just do they're going to win 10 things or whatever, how many nominations they were nominated for, they're going to win everything they were nominated for to signal The Brutalist as our movie. But I mean, I don't think
you would have to have a severe people going against
one of the biggest snubs in Oscar history. I feel like if they did that to Culkin, you know what I mean? So,
and then we had actress in a leading role, which in the coming days, this kind of seemed like a lock of the five. We had Cynthia Erivo, Carla Sofia Gascon, Mikey Madison, Demi Moore, and Fernanda Torres. This kind of the vibe started to be here for these five. The four were a lock, and then it was who's getting that fifth spot. And Torres, everything we had been watching, pretty much everyone started picking Torres. So it kind of started making sense. She won the Golden Globe, but how much can you connect to that? Right, so that's when you start talking to yourself in circles. Yeah, but I'm still here. Got a lot of acknowledgement. This is one obviously I haven't been able to see. It's I believe it's in Portuguese.
Yeah,
so it's fucking cool.
One,
I'm excited to see it. Now that it's been nominated for all this shit, it's going to start popping up everywhere.
Yep.
Put that bitch on digital soon. Send out the screeners. I mean, Mikey Madison here, Cynthia Erivo, Carla. They're all great. Demi, who might win. I'm curious. The betting odds have been shifting between Demi and Mikey. So
yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to what I honestly think. Whenever they actually do the vote, it's going to be whatever the Academy resonated with more. And for me personally, I think it could be Demi's award to win because of that. Because I was saying this to you the other night. There's not a single person in the Academy that has not felt the feelings that Demi Moore goes through in those movies. You know what I mean?
God, if The Substance won this award, I would actually probably shed a quick tear. As much as I'm rooting for Honora, if she lost to Demi, dude, I'd get a little emotional.
Yeah, because it would feel like
it'd be so cool.
Yeah, it would feel very, very cool. But I never
thought that there was a chance in hell a movie like The Substance would be thought of on this level. Which this is the best horror movie of the year.
It's probably the best horror movie of the last 10 years.
It's not Nosferatu, and the amount of times I've seen Nosferatu win these awards for best horror movie, I'm like, dude, you haven't watched any fucking horror movies. There's no way you have, and I don't want to sound like that guy, but I saw it today, and they were listing their best horror movies, and I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. If that is number one, no. If this year of all years, that's number one, get out of here. Best actor.
You don't understand, Charlie. I know it's a Substance is a comedy.
It's very funny. There is some satirical stuff to it, but
it is a satire, but it's not a comedy. It's fucking body horror.
It's a legit body horror. It's beautiful. Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, Rafe Fiennes in Conclave, and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice.
Haha. Told you it was going to be The Apprentice, bro. I just knew it. I felt it.
I knew it was going to be Stan.
Oh, yeah. You had him for the other movie, which is fine. You know what I mean?
That was another one of my long shots. I took way too many long shots. But most of them hit, so
we learned a lesson this year. We should just go with the wave, you know? We should just try and trust.
Fuck that. I knew Mangle was going to be in.
We should go with the most of the wave. Because the thing is, like, the wave is pretty right, and then, like, there's going to be surprises. And, like, most people aren't going to have the surprises in there. You know what I mean? Like, even our boys did not have the surprises. You know what I mean? So, like, at least all of them. You know what I mean? So, like, but this category seems pretty straightforward, you know?
I have to watch The Apprentice now, so.
Yep, 100%. We're going to watch that. I've wanted to watch it for a little while now.
Every time I see a clip of him, though, and you see him talking, I'm like, okay, well, that performance looks insane.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it looks like I see the images of him, and I'm like, I don't see Stan in there. You know what I mean? So I'm really curious to see. I love when an actor disappears like that for me. You know what I mean? Like, so I really want to see. And I also the other thing that drove me to want to see this is the supporting performance has been getting so lauded in this as well. You know what I mean? So I want to see how that comes together. And I actually
the Succession fellas.
Yeah, I've read a little bit of the synopsis about what was going on in there, and it sounds like a really interesting time in the guy's life, because it seems like it'll really highlight some shit, you know, maybe potentially. So it'll be interesting to see what that does, you know. Yeah.
Then our last one of the night, we had Best Picture. Nora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. So 8 of 10 have kind of been in everyone's list, right? It was what were going to be those last two. Mm-hmm. And it ended up being Nickel Boys, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. And I'm Still Here, another international movie. And last time I looked, this was number 16 on the betting odds. So it jumped a lot of movies. It jumped, at least knowingly, Sing Sing, September 5. All We Imagine Is Light, which this was probably the only other one that had a shot in hell at, right?
Well, Hard Truth. Let's talk about that. All We Imagine Is Light. No Oscar nominations this year.
Not a single fucking one.
Because they were forced to not be able to go into international because their home country did not nominate them as the movie.
And I still couldn't find what India submitted.
It must have not made the list. That's what I'm guessing.
What the fuck?
Because, I mean, you got to think, there's like 190 fucking countries, and they all have to probably be considered if they have a movie to submit. You know what I mean? So, and then they just make a long list, and then they're like, all right, pick the top 10 out of this, and then that'll be the ones that we pick for our top 5. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Very, very happy for Nickel Boys. Obviously devastated for Sing Sing, but I think Sing Sing, they just botched the fucking release. They absolutely botched it. This movie came out 18 months ago, and most people still haven't been able to see it. I mean, they absolutely botched the release, and it's very unfortunate. You know, when we saw that A24 was behind it, my confidence was really growing. Even when the first time I heard the title, I was like, oh God, that's still not technically out. Oh Jesus. I thought that was a movie last year. And it's like, you know, they're doing the same thing with The Life of Chuck. That movie came out like 7 months ago, and they're holding it till next year's schedule. So while I am devastated for Sing Sing, I haven't seen I'm Still Here, but everything we've heard about it has been, you know, good for them. I'm glad we got 2 international features. If we're going to get 2, you know, I'm glad I'm Still Here got acknowledged. I think it also makes the international award a little more interesting. I don't think it's a guarantee Amelia Perez wins it. I think I'm Still Here has a really big chance now, because with Fernanda Torres' nomination, with the nomination in Best Picture, good for them. I don't know. Where are you feeling today? Are we still thinking this is Brutalist's award to lose, Is it shifting? I think, I mean, we've talked about it a couple times, but I think Conclave's completely out now. I did think there was a chance for Conclave, not anymore. I think that raised Amelia Paris' chances a lot, but I don't know. Where's your mind at today? Are you Brutalist, Anora, maybe Dune?
Yeah,
maybe we get a
Dune-
Ben Affleck situation?
It would be cool. I don't think that's happening.
Wicked?
I think the easiest path to victory here for the Brutalist is winning everything that it's nominated in. And I know that sounds insane, but it's not unlikely.
He wins Best Original Screenplay. We know what the last award of the night is.
So I think if he wins, here's how you'll know. If he wins, all right. If he wins director, Adrian Brody wins actor, and he wins for his screenplay,
which will probably be the first one announced.
Yes.
If that beats Anora, I'm calling it.
If those
GG.
three things happen, he's winning Best Picture.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. So watch out for that. And so it means also watch out if Timmy or Coleman or Rafe or somebody like that, or if maybe Coralie Fargeau wins for director or something like that, or Sean Baker, watch for those kinds of things, because just because that happens doesn't mean the Brutalist couldn't still win Best Picture. You know what I mean? So, like,
could we get a Parasite type campaign with The Substance and Everything Everywhere All at Once campaign with The Substance?
The fact that it's got a chance, they're going to push for it, I would imagine. So
I mean, we know it's going to win makeup. I mean, if it doesn't win makeup, what are we doing here? But that seems to be almost as big as Culkin's lock. So, I mean, it's winning all of them.
Yeah,
it could make a run. Where
I think I'm seeing Brutalist here. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah. I think
as of today, I'm still seeing Brutalist, but it's still not strong for me as it was a couple weeks ago.
For a complete unknown to sweep these awards, it'd be incredible. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine Timmy wins for his performance? Fucking main
goal. We're gonna see a lot of these awards play out, but if Anora picks up some big wins,
yeah, I'm still rooting for Anora for sure.
Oh man. If it wins like Critics' Choice, if it wins SAG, I think there's going to be some things that the tea leaves will be there, and God, because there's a chance Nora goes home empty-handed. I don't think the Brutalist goes home empty-handed no matter what, but there is a big chance that Nora gets swept, and that'd be so painful.
Yeah, Nora's super snub would be insane.
I don't want to be. I don't want to shed a tear, but that would.
It's the #1 movie this year, so as far as I'm concerned, that should be Best Picture. But that's my personal opinion. The Academy not agreeing with me.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see where we're at a month from now. But as of today, that's my vote, and I wanted to cater on that. So as award season goes on, if you guys have stuck with us throughout this, I hope you enjoyed this show. As award season goes on, we're gonna be here. So when shit happens, we're gonna do reviews of it. We did a review of the Golden Globes, which is probably the most irrelevant one. So we reviewed that one. So we'll be here for the rest. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see the coming days. We haven't even seen our boys, the Oscar expert, have their video out today. So I can't wait to see their reactions to all this. Dude, they're gonna freak the fuck out at I'm Still Here. That is going to be huge.
A couple of things I have a feeling.
Yeah, dude. They're going to be geeking, bro. Yeah. We'll be back. And we will, if you only care about the Oscars, we will be doing our predictions, which will be a really fun video. We'll probably get that out the week before the Oscars. I'm guessing that's when people actually really start doing it. Let all the other awards shows play out so we have a lot of knowledge. And we'll do predictions of what we think's going to win, and then we'll cast our own votes. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And fuck, man, we can't even cast our vote for Denis for director anymore. Fuck.
Can't do it.
Pain.
I'll be honest with you, I wasn't going to anyway. No offense.
Oh, dude, I 100% was. He's the fucking man.
As much as I want him to win, if he
That's
wasn't.
The thing. It's way different from prediction for own vote. I probably, as of today, I would have predicted Brady Corbet, but I would have cast my vote for fucking Denis. I'm curious how we're going to feel in a month. So.
Yeah. Let's see.
Thanks everyone for checking this out. If you did enjoy this, come back for more, man. There's all we have for the next month outside of that is this little Spider-Man TV show, which no one has any confidence in. So I hope it's good. I hope it's good.
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't. But yeah, that's the only thing we got reviewing on this. So We will catch you guys on the flip side. That being said, on that bombshell.
Again!
Oh shit, it's the award show.
Yeah!